Hi Year 11, welcome to your video tutorial. This video tutorial is intended for students completing the Stage 6 Software Engineering syllabus, first unit of work Programming Fundamentals, and the very first syllabus dot point, Software Development. Information and images gathered in this presentation have been sourced from Software Engineering, the Year 11 course, unless otherwise stated. Over the coming lessons, we are going to look in more detail at each of these steps in the software development cycle that we've alluded to in the previous lesson. There are clear distinct steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them that we are going to go over in total. While we are doing them in order, in a similar fashion to the waterfall method or the structured approach, you can tell that these stages or these elements or steps, whichever word you want to call them, steps, we might call them to be most consistent here, is involved in the agile development approach. While they may not be done in order, each of these steps will be touched on either once or multiple times during the agile development approach. The first step that we are going to look at today specifically is the requirements definition. The requirements definition really involves an investigation of the key features, properties, or behaviors a system might need to achieve to process. Each requirement must be verifiable, you must be able to measure, and it must seem to be actually a need. Most people think, requirements definition, that's nice and easy. However, it's this initial stage which is actually one of the most crucial to get right in the software development stage. Missing something or overlooking something in the requirements definition can be catastrophic or make a project untenable due to budget oversights later on. Lots of projects are cancelled and well abandoned into the development cycle because a requirements definition was not done, or the requirements definition stage was not done correctly. This stage involves really identifying and understanding the needs of the client. That can be done in many ways. It can include surveys, interviews, time management studies, but there are a specific group of people whose jobs it is to really get an understanding in the team of what the client's needs are or what their requirements are. They are called business system analysts. The people who develop or lead the requirements definition phase are usually BSAs. There are two key stages in defining requirements for BSAs, and that involves the collection of what we've referred to before as user stories. So in agile development, user stories form the foundation of feature requests in each sprint. Now let's just put a pause there. Let's just rewind ever so slightly because we've used quite a lot of subject-specific terminology. A reminder, user stories, they are statements, anecdotes, narratives, small stories from a user as to what they feel they need or are missing or are lacking or require in the new system. A reminder, a sprint is an iteration in agile software development. So BSAs, or business system analysts, collect and clarify through a variety of surveys, interviews, time management studies, and business analyses, as well as by capturing user stories. A key stage also in the requirements definition is defining the boundary of the system, where the boundary of the system and then the environment come into play. That means defining the limit of what it is particularly that you are going to deliver on, what is included in the system and what is included in the environment. Now that sounds really wordy and abstract, but what it means is I say as a software developer, yeah, sure, I'll make you a point of sale system, no worries. And don't define the boundary of the system. My client might come in and go, hey, what about this feature? What about the database to back up this, point of sale system that you've made for me? As the software developer, I was never under the impression that I was making a database to save records to. The client assumed and I assumed because I, as a developer, didn't clearly set the boundaries of what I was making. So a really key stage in the requirements definition for BSAs is making that distinction between the boundary of the system and the environment. And that's it. That's the key understandings of the requirements definition.